Hello, welcome to Wednesday. On Wednesdays, for the next 6 weeks, we're going to be looking at the reading strategies that you just got a little preview for. And preview is the operative word because today we're talking about the first one, previewing. So, what is previewing? And what does it have to do with reading? Previewing, when you start a book, say, and this can go for an article or a passage or whatever you're reading. You start a book, you want to know what can you expect and how can you tie it into your knowledge base, the things you already are familiar with. So you want to look at things like the cover, the title, the author. If there's a summary on the back or anything, you might want to look at that. You want to flip through it, see how close the words are, maybe, how long it is, how long the chapters are, what kind of names the chapters have. All these things are going to help you when you get into reading it, if you choose to read it. Now, you may preview a text, a book, say, and from what you've seen in your preview, you may decide not to read it. If it's really little type and it's 600 pages long, I don't know. I would probably pass that one by. But yeah, previewing. If you do decide then to continue with what you've previewed and read it, you're going to be prepared for some of the elements of the text. And that puts you just that much further up the level of comprehension so that you aren't as surprised as you might be when things start revealing. Like, oh, this text is really small. I don't know if I can read 600 pages of this. Or, these chapters are really short. So I think this is a good book for me because I can read in short chunks. That's something I look for. So you get a book. Say this book, I know it's backwards, right? This is called The War of Art. Okay. So my prior knowledge is I know there's a book called The Art of War by Sun Tzu. So this is a clever title variation. I don't know if that has anything to do with the book yet, but that's the first thing that pops into my brain when I'm previewing this book. Then it says the subtitle. Subtitles are very helpful when previewing. Break through the blocks and win your inner creative battles. Okay, so now I know what it's about in a rough nutshell kind of way. I know that it's going to be about winning creative battles. So the word blocks sticks out, inner creative sticks out. So I'm thinking, okay, so this is going to be a book about something like writer's block, maybe. I see the author, Stephen Pressfield. I've never heard of him, so I don't have any prior knowledge of him. So, okay, I can't make any assumptions there. And then there's a little quote here from Esquire: a vital gem, a kick in the ass. So I know that it's kind of a quirky book, maybe, I would guess, because it's both a gem and a kick in the ass. So what is that? So it's going to be impactful, probably. At least the person who wrote that review thought so. On the back, there's lots of information on this one, and it tells you straight up, do you dream about writing the great American novel? Want to start a business? hope to run a marathon. So, okay, so it's about things that you want to do. And it says if you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need this book. So, that gives me another sense of what this book is about. When I open it up, I see, okay, it's pretty well spaced, not too hard on the eyes, which is always nice. I'm also noticing that the chapters are very short. Can't really do this and show you, but there, those chapters are 3 paragraphs and 1 paragraph. So the chapters are very short, which I like. And so I'm thinking, okay, they're all really short. Maybe this is going to be a book where you get nuggets of information here and there in these short chapters. Maybe it's not going to read like a novel. It's going to read like a list of strategies, maybe, for winning your battles. I see there's not a lot of words I don't know as I look through. There are a few. I might want to check those out, make sure what they mean. Give me more to go on to know if this is a book that I want to read. Spoiler, I have read it. It was good. Okay. A different book, just to drive this concept home. Okay, so we've got Margaret Atwood's The Testaments. And first of all, Margaret Atwood, she's a great author, Canadian. And I really liked her book, The Handmaid's Tale. And from the cover, I can see that we've got someone here who's dressed like the characters in A Handmaid's Tale, and it says at the bottom, the author of The Handmaid's Tale. So I'm guessing this book has something to do with The Handmaid's Tale. I also noticed that in this design here, we've got another picture sort of hidden in that picture of a woman lifting her arms. Usually that's a sign of freedom and happiness and things that I don't associate with The Handmaid's Tale. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is some sort of sequel to The Handmaid's Tale in which the handmaid finds her freedom and is happy. I see it's called The Testaments. Doesn't help me too much, but I know the Bible is broken into 2 testaments, the Old and the New Testament, and there was a lot of biblical imagery in The Handmaid's Tale, so that might be, again, something that I can look forward to with this book. It's connected to The Handmaid's Tale. And on the back, there's nothing written on this back to help me, but again, I've got a picture of sort of a modern woman, and so I have an idea that maybe it's about a woman who starts off as a handmaid and ends up getting out of that life and turning into just a modern woman. So those are some strategies you can use for previewing. Also, you might want to look up a few things on the web. Google, The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. Google Dracula by Bram Stoker, the book that we were going to be looking at. And there's a great site that I linked in the introduction to the book that you can find on the Classroom. Just scroll down till you find it, Dracula Novel Study. There's a couple links there. One for vocabulary that you might see that you might not remember seeing anywhere else or know what it means in this context. And there's a link to, I think it's called Course Hero, something like that. And it's got all kinds of fantastic information that you would use when previewing. It gives you a look at the main characters and their relations to each other. It has summaries of the chapters. It's got brief thoughts on the themes. It's a gem for previewing. So this is previewing. It's looking at things, activating the knowledge you already have, and linking it to what you're seeing in the book, what you're hearing about the book, what you're seeing when you flip through the book. And that skill of previewing, like I said, it's going to start you off on the right foot. You're not going to be sort of left catching up. You have sort of an idea of what you're getting into. Now, in a test, this might mean looking at the questions and answer choices that you are asked to complete after reading a passage. I highly recommend doing that before you read anything. Read the questions and the answer choices, then you know what you're reading for. If it's a question about what is the main idea of this passage, you know then when you go to read the passage what you're looking for. Okay, I'm looking for the main idea. And it's one of these 4 things. So then, again, you're going into that reading armed. You know what you're looking for. You know it's one of 4 things, and you can bat that out of the park. So that's previewing. And the other strategies, just in case you care to know, and I've forgotten from the introduction here, are starting with previewing, summarizing, visualization, questioning, predicting, and monitoring. And we're going to be talking about those in the weeks to come on these wonderful Wednesdays. All right. I will have an assignment for you to do every day. Today it's going to be based on previewing, and you can find that on the classroom site. All right. Thank you, guys. Go read something.